The plot thickened when the clock struck. "Oops, I might be living here now," prompted by her line manager's gentle nudge that perhaps she was not, in fact, part of the night shift. Scuttling off to meet her cousin, she was as hurried as Cinderella post-midnight, minus the lost slipper drama. Arriving at Diane's, Faith was met with the sight of her dad's car, sparking an internal, "Why is Dad in the big city?" alarm. Inside, she stumbled upon a surprise so grand it could have been orchestrated by a team of party planners on a reality TV budget. There, in the midst of casual familial espionage, was a gift that revved Faith's heart into overdrive, a car to zip her around the cityscape, presented with the subtlety of a Broadway show reveal. The unveiling of the little red box, not tied to any conventional gift-giving occasion, had Faith puzzled like a detective in a whodunit novel. The mystery deepened until the ribbon unfurled to reveal keys, a harbinger of newfound freedom and adult responsibilities. Led outside, she was greeted by the shiny steed that was a silver Nissan Strail, a moment so magical it could have been accompanied by a choir of angels, or at the very least, a dramatic soundtrack. But wait, the plot thickened further with the revelation of a second surprise: a house, because apparently, Faith's dad was playing Oprah with real estate. "You get a house and you get to stay in Nairobi," he seemed to say, showcasing a property that promised Faith a fresh start without the need for a fairy godmother. The cherry on top? A dad joke about car uniformity with Diane and Alice, proving that humor doesn't always mature with age. Plus, an invitation to Nakuru for a party that promised more surprises than a mystery novel. As they snapped pics for Alice, the official documenter of moments missed, plans were made to show off Faith's new ride, turning what was a regular evening into a mini motor show. Thus, amidst laughter, dad jokes, and the promising gleam of new keys, Faith's journey took a turn towards new beginnings, courtesy of familial love and a penchant for surprises that kept everyone on their toes, or wheels in this case. Tony, ever the modern-day Romeo, made sure to serenade Diane with a symphony of evening calls and midday texts, striking a perfect balance between thoughtful and "I hope I'm not interrupting your meeting." On one such call, he floated the idea of a weekend getaway, a proposition as exciting as finding an extra fry at the bottom of the bag. The stars aligned as the kids were scheduled to hang out with Dad, making Diane's "yeah" as enthusiastic as a kid's response to "Do you want ice cream?" The destination remained a mystery, with Tony promising to unveil the surprise on Friday, adding a dash of intrigue to the week that passed with the speed of a snail on a leisurely stroll. Come Friday, Diane was up with the dawn, orchestrating her children's transfer to their father's care with the efficiency of a military operation, sans the camouflage. Post-drop-off, she dived into the digital world, catching up on everything from cat videos to emails. Tony, true to his word, arrived at her doorstep, his arrival heralded by the doorbell's chime. Upon his grand entrance, Diane, curiosity piqued, inquired about their destination. Tony, channeling his inner travel agent, revealed their destination was the Great Rift Valley Lodge in Naivasha, a choice inspired by the glowing reviews of a friend and the allure of a deal too good to pass up. Diane, ever the gracious host, offered a pre-journey beverage, but Tony, fueled by the excitement of the road ahead, politely declined. Not to be deterred, Diane had already packed a mobile refreshment station in the back seat, because what's a road trip without snacks and drinks, ready for the adventure that awaited them? Diane's approach to packing could best be described as a more is more philosophy. If packing for a weekend was an art, Diane was the Michelangelo of overpacking, convinced that a trip wasn't complete without her entire wardrobe, a collection of just-in-case items, and quite possibly the kitchen sink in spirit. Tony, upon witnessing the spectacle, adopted the stance of a wise monk, vowing silence in the face of packing pandemonium. As they embarked on their journey, Diane fired off a quick text to Faith and Alice, because what's an adventure if your inner circle doesn't have a detailed itinerary? It's like saying, just in case I'm abducted by aliens or join a circus, here's where you can send the search party. Their first pit stop was a petrol station, because even adventure needs fuel. The drive to Naivasha was accompanied by the dulcet tones of old-school jams, turning their trip into a mobile karaoke session, complete with scenic breaks to admire the Rift Valley and support the local economy via strategically haggled purchases from roadside vendors.
After a refreshing shower to wash away the journey's dust and the anticipation of elevating their relationship beyond the friend zone, they ventured out to explore the lodge's offerings. From sandwiches that hit the spot to leisurely strolls amidst the splendor of tennis courts, golf greens, and a beckoning pool, thank heavens Diane packed her swimsuit. It was the perfect preamble to an evening of relaxation and cheeky banter that had Diane laughing with the carefree joy of her teenage self. Their dinner transitioned into a barside retreat, the perfect setting for heartbeats synced to the rhythm of Ashanti drums and slow walks back to their room, wrapped in the comfort of each other's presence. It was a night of new beginnings, marked by giggles, cheeky grins, and the promise of shared moments, all under the watchful eyes of Faith and Alice via text, demanding photographic evidence of their blissful escapade. As they approached their door, Tony, in a move smoother than a buttered slide, swung the door open and ushered Diane in with a kiss that might as well have come with its own soundtrack. In the act of shoe removal, a ritual more intimate in this context than one might expect, Tony loomed close, his presence as palpable as an impending plot twist. Turning to face him, Diane found herself locked in a gaze that sent Tony into a state of breathlessness usually reserved for high-stakes poker games. His touch on her cheek was the spark to her dynamite, leading to a kiss that unfolded with the enthusiasm of two teenagers discovering lip balm for the first time. Tony, ever the stylist, ensured not a strand of hair obscured the moment, while Diane, elevating herself to his level, found her back under the tender scrutiny of his thumbs. As Tony's hands embarked on a journey of discovery, Diane was aflutter with anticipation, her excitement tingling at every caress. Their connection deepened, crossing into territories Diane had only speculated about in daydreams. It was, in every sense, perfect. The next day dawned on a world transformed, the deed sealed with the certainty of a well-stamped passport. The scenery outside their window was nothing short of a painting, but the real masterpiece was the grin Tony wore, reminiscent of a cat who'd not only caught the canary but had been gifted a lifetime supply. Diane, buoyed by the aftermath of their closeness, contemplated skipping instead of walking. Breakfast became an extended affair, as if they were trying to stretch the morning into infinity. Mid-morning brought horseback riding adventures, with Diane revisiting childhood memories of equestrian elegance, while Tony clung to his steed with the tenacity of a man convinced his horse was secretly a mechanical bull. Post-riding, they grazed on a light lunch, joining another adventurous duo for a game drive that promised more wildlife than a Saturday night at their local bar. The day was a blend of novice riding, wildlife spotting, and the warmth of shared experiences, marking the beginning of many more adventures to come. "I'm so hungry, I could eat a horse," declared Tony, their safari adventure having apparently awakened a primal hunger within him. With appetites fierce enough to rival a lion's after a successful hunt, they made a beeline for the restaurant, cooling off with some icy drinks while eagerly awaiting a feast that could satisfy Tony's newfound carnivorous tendencies. The evening unfolded with unexpected camaraderie as the Canadian couple, who had shared the thrill of the game drive earlier, joined them. Celebrating their 25th wedding anniversary with a Kenyan safari, they swapped stories and laughter over drinks, the universal language of vacation bliss. Diane and Tony, however, were soon itching for the solace of their room, their desire for privacy trumping the allure of international friendship. Come Sunday morning, the pair faced the cruel irony of a weekend getaway. They were more exhausted than if they'd stayed home. The night had been short and the dawn unwelcome, but the call of the checkout time was as relentless as a rooster at sunrise. They managed a shower, a tag team effort in efficiency, and stumbled to breakfast, their hunger as evident as a tourist at a Maasai market. Post-breakfast, Tony, channeling his inner cheeky schoolboy, kept Diane in a constant state of blushing, proving that even a grown man could find his boyish charm when the mood struck. Their drive back to Nairobi included a pit stop, because what's a road trip without the mandatory stretch your legs and pretend you're not just stopping for snacks break? Dropping Diane off in the late afternoon, Tony lingered for a cuddle on the couch, finding the house faith-free as she had ventured out with Brian, possibly exploring the outer limits of Nairobi's coffee scene. Meanwhile, Alice and Faith were immersed in the festive whirlwind of a traditional Gikuyu wedding, a celebration marking Alice's niece's big day. The pre-wedding night was a low-key affair, a calm before the storm of festivity. Come Saturday, they were deep in the heart of the bridal home, surrounded by song, dance, and the vibrant ululations that mark such joyous occasions. Despite their giggles over not knowing the lyrics, the joy was infectious, a reminder that weddings are less about perfect performances and more about heartfelt participation. As they made their way to the church, a resolve to master the songs took hold. Future weddings loomed on the horizon, and they'd be darned if they'd be the ones mumbling through the choruses next time. The wedding, true to form, stretched into the evening, a testament to the time-honored tradition of African time. They danced with abandon, discovering muscles they hadn't known existed and earning themselves a well-deserved night of rest. In the end, both parties, whether escaping for a romantic getaway or celebrating love at a family wedding, found themselves wrapped in the unique tapestry of life's moments, the kind that leaves you weary, fulfilled, and utterly content. On Sunday, while Alice played the role of the domestic goddess, juggling kids and unexpected cousin visits like a circus performer, Faith and Brian ventured off to Kitengela for a nyama choma feast with friends. It's rumored that the aroma of grilled meat in Kitengela can lure even the most steadfast vegetarians to reconsider their life choices. By the time Faith made her grand re-entry, Diane had transformed her evening into a one-woman show, showered, dined, and lounging like a queen surveying her realm from the comfort of her couch. Diane's mind wandered, half wishing the weekend had a pause button and eagerly anticipating Faith's tales of grilled escapades. A brief chat with Alice had only whetted her appetite for gossip, as Alice's home had turned into Grand Central Station with the surprise arrival of her cousins. When Faith finally breezed in, the clock's relentless march to 11 p.m. went unnoticed as they traded stories, the evening slipping away like a stealthy cat. Faith had an appointment with her divorce lawyer at Diane's, marking the next chapter in the soap opera that was her marriage. Meanwhile, Faith's soon-to-be ex-husband seemed to be auditioning for the lead role in a tragedy, his life script filled with scenes of neglect, both personal hygiene and professional duties taking a back seat as he embarked on a solo tour of self-destruction. Monday's cameo appearance by Faith's lawyer was shorter than a commercial break, a whirlwind 10-minute affair that left them blinking in surprise. His rush out the door, eschewing the offer of tea or coffee, hinted at a man whose own domestic drama awaited his attention. Diane's kids' homecoming was marked by their father's drive-by parenting style, his brief wave from the car a stark contrast to his new life's backstage drama, rumored to be dominated by a young leading lady with expensive tastes. Diane, however, was unbothered, her focus firmly on the home front as they geared up for the school term's final countdown. With a strategically planned 3-day respite, Diane had the luxury of midweek peace before the storm of Friday's big meeting. It was a balancing act of work, family, and the occasional dive into the lives of those around her, proving once again that in the world of Diane and friends, there was never a dull moment, just scenes waiting to unfold in the ongoing drama of everyday life. The 3-day period before the start of the school year is always marked by a flurry of activity in their household, turning into an intense session of preparation and planning. For her, these days are dedicated to ensuring that the children have everything they need for school. This time is particularly stressful as it not only tests her patience, but also her resolve in managing the children's endless desires. They seem to want everything in sight, regardless of whether they actually need it or not. This includes the latest gadgets, trendy backpacks, and various other items that catch their fancy. It's a delicate balancing act for her, constantly weighing the necessity against the whims, often having to firmly say no to their more extravagant requests. The division of responsibilities between the parents is clear and somewhat traditional. While their dad takes care of the school fees, she is in charge of purchasing the school uniforms, books, and other essential supplies required for the academic year. Beyond the realm of education, they also split the financial responsibilities of parenting. He covers the cost of their clothing and ensures they have ample food when they're staying with him. Additionally, each parent has the tradition of taking the kids on a holiday once a year, creating a blend of experiences and memories for the family. However, the dynamic within the family takes a slightly different turn when it comes to their father's girlfriend. The kids, for reasons known to them, have not taken a liking to her. Their way of expressing this discontent is through a series of pranks, which, while mischievous, highlight the tensions that exist. One memorable incident involved placing a tadpole in her glass of water, eagerly awaiting the moment of discovery just to witness her startled reaction. But perhaps the most humorous, albeit slightly mischievous, episode was when they applied super glue to the soles of her shoes, which were left outside. This clever setup led to an unexpected tumble when she attempted to wear them, leaving her in a confused heap on the porch while the children couldn't contain their laughter. These incidents, while playful on the surface, perhaps signal a deeper need for adjustment and acceptance within the evolving family dynamic. The balance between discipline and understanding, responsibility and care, forms the bedrock of their family life, even as they navigate the challenges of blending families and managing the children's needs and desires. Navigating the chaotic seas of back-to-school preparation, she found herself in the eye of a hurricane named children's whims. The 3 days leading up to the school term were a blend of adventure, negotiation, and the occasional diplomatic crisis, as she embarked on the epic quest to equip her offspring for the academic year. This period could easily be mistaken for a game show titled "How Much Can Mom Take Before She Starts Speaking in Tongues?" Armed with a shopping list that seemed to grow legs and run away with itself, she faced the onslaught of requests for items that were more suited to a mission to Mars than a classroom. "Mom, I absolutely need this pencil that's been blessed by a shaman," or "but this backpack has GPS and Wi-Fi," were just the tip of the iceberg. Her patience was tested to the limits, and her vocabulary of no's expanded more in these 3 days than in her entire parenting career. It was a delicate dance between fulfilling their needs and not turning her home into an episode of Kids' Most Extravagant Wishes. The financial tag team with their dad added another layer to the comedic drama. He took care of the school fees, a straightforward transaction devoid of drama, while she navigated the treacherous waters of school supplies and uniform shopping. He was in charge of clothing and food, keeping them stylish and fed, while she ensured they were educated and equipped. Their holiday arrangements were the only smooth operation, with each parent whisking the kids away once a year, hopefully to recuperate from the other 364 days of madness. The saga with the dad's girlfriend added a sprinkle of sitcom-worthy humor to their lives. The children, donning their caps of mischief, became pint-sized pranksters with a target. Their creative endeavors ranged from wildlife surprises and drinking water to crafting impromptu slip-and-slides with super glue and footwear. Each prank was executed with the precision of a military operation, leaving their unsuspecting victim bewildered and the kids rolling on the floor in laughter. The superglue incident, in particular, could have easily been a scene stolen from a slapstick comedy, complete with dramatic slips and a puzzled look of betrayal towards her once trustworthy shoes. These humorous escapades, though challenging, brought a unique flavor to their family life. Each moment of frustration, each test of patience, and every laughter-filled prank wove together the colorful tapestry of their family's story. Amidst the chaos of back-to-school preparations and the complexities of family dynamics, the laughter and memories they created were the true treasures, making every mad dash for school supplies and every carefully orchestrated prank part of the beautiful, hilarious journey of parenting. The ritual of back-to-school shopping had become an annual pilgrimage to Sarit Center for Diane and her children, transforming an otherwise mundane task into a cherished tradition. On this particular day, after gently rousing her children from their slumber, they embarked on their journey, armed with lists that seemed more like scrolls in their length and detail. The shopping expedition was not just about ticking items off a list, it was an opportunity to bond, share laughs, and prepare